All right, welcome to the Mindful Journey podcast with your host, Brian McLaughlin. I'm a mental performance consultant in the Toronto area. This podcast is a platform for high performers to share their story and insights into what helped them along the way. So, speaking of high performers, our guest today is a perfect example of that. Without further ado, welcome to the podcast, Jahmeek.
Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing today?
You're
Thank you
doing
very much for
well.
having me, Brian. I'm very excited to do this with you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. How's your day going so far?
Excellent day, excellent day. Just got off a shift, worked 24 hours yesterday, was able to get to the gym, get a nice early workout in, good breakfast. I got the rest of the day to try to figure something out.
There you go. So before we kind of get into your sport background and kind of what made you who you are today, tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now. So you said you just worked a 24-hour shift. Tell us a little bit
So
more.
what I'm doing right now, I became a firefighter in Toronto, working in the North York area. In August, it will be 2 years, an absolutely great 2 years so far, learning a lot every single day. I feel like my life has, with sports and everything, has channeled into this direction. And that's why the firefighting, I think, is the perfect career for me.
Mm-hmm. Right on. And congrats on the early 2 year.
Thank you
That's
very
amazing.
much. So
All right.
young. It sounds so young. I like it. 2 years old.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so we'll start from the beginning. Like what was your sport history like growing up?
Sport history for me, like growing up, I would have to say it started in Jamaica. So I lived in Jamaica until grade 4. So I moved here when I was around 10. And sports, track and field was my very first love. It started in grade 1. It was like a big ordeal. All the grade 1s racing, all the grade 2s racing, all the grade 3s racing. So I think I have to credit my later years of sport to that. Moving to Canada now, we didn't have football. We didn't have tackle football, my main sport. And I'm definitely going to give that track and field some love. Training as a sprint into the football when I got here to Canada. Then I started playing football in the MFL, OVFL. Oh my gosh, now I have, I could potentially get a scholarship, go to university, potentially play pro. So it's like, okay, let's start taking this thing serious now. And eventually getting signed with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, but we'll talk
Mm-hmm.
about all that later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, coming to how is that transition coming from Jamaica to Canada? And, was there a culture shock? Was there, you're in a new country and, you want to have some sort of normalcy and, you have that through sport. Like, how was that for you as a young kid coming to Canada?
The culture shock was definitely real. Coming from a developing country, Kingston, Jamaica, in the heart, and moving to Canada and just being so free in a developed country. The roads there's grass, there's the little things like a sidewalk, not a pothole on the road, like little things like that went a long way. And I was like, Mom, I absolutely love Canada. Like, can I stay? And that's what happened. I asked if I could stay, and I stayed.
Right on. And then so growing up, did you just stick with track and field? Like when did you start to get into football, to tackle football?
Tackle football started in grade 8. It was track and field. And then after school, all my close friends were not on the playground anymore. It was football season. I'm like, where is everyone? Everyone's playing football. Okay, let's play some football. So that's how my football story started, because no one was around. I was like, I'm a soccer player. I'm a track player. I don't play football. That was
Yeah.
kind of the thing back then.
Yeah.
And then we started playing football and fell in love with the sport. You
Hmm.
know, becoming just learning and watching all the older players, what they did, and just tried to mimic what they did to get my game to the best that I got it to.
Hmm. So you carried on through that, like, and then you went into high school. Was football still was that your main sport in high school?
So I went into high school and I was a 3-sport athlete: football, basketball, and track and field. So
Nice.
those are my 3 main sports. Played a little bit of soccer in grade 12 just for fun, but
Mm-hmm.
nothing serious. But then started taking football serious when I got invited to play for the Mississauga Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
So high school was track, football, basketball, but then I wasn't as tall to be a basketball player to make it professionally. I wasn't that Olympic speed, fast track speed, but I was good at football. I was fast, I was agile, so it was a good fit. And I had a better career for the CFL or potentially the NFL a bit, not being 6'6", being a basketball player. So that's why I channeled it on football. And, we can get a scholarship playing football. Let's put all our eggs in that basket towards the end of high school.
Mm-hmm. So your grade 12 year, were you were just playing football?
Nope, did all three.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
you did all three? Okay.
Did all three.
And did you find, playing three different sports, the training, it's not like it's like a one size fits all for that training, right? Did you find that being able to play three different sports, it helped you with, say with football, where you can take, the stride mechanics from, track and field and apply that into football, where, other athletes that might have specialized only in football, they might not have that ability or that, that knowledge of what you had. Did you find that you had more of a, maybe you picked up things a little bit quicker within your sports, or how is that for you?
I think I do think that it definitely helps out a lot. That's why when I have a kid, I want him to play everything. I want him to play soccer, to develop that soccer. You learn spatial awareness,
Yep.
you're sprinting, but you got to learn how to conserve your energy. So soccer is really cool in that sense. And I would want my child to play, to participate in track and field, to get that top end speed.
Mm-hmm.
You're running in a straight line. So track and field is perfect when you shed a tackle and you want to beam for that pylon. And so you need that track speed, but then you need to also train how to have agility, how to move sideways, how to move backwards, forwards, stopping on a dime and jumping. That sounds like a lot like basketball,
Mm-hmm.
So then that's why basketball was an amazing transition into football. So with all these sports, you learn the different tactics, the different plays. And
Yep.
I've never been on the hockey ice before, but I understand spatial awareness. So I'm like, I'm too close to him. I don't think just because of this sport, it's obviously, it might work
Mm-hmm.
in this sport as well. So that's why I think our child will participate in all sports and then specify later on in life.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I work with a lot of hockey athletes, and you've probably seen it too, training athletes, where kids nowadays, they specialize early, and this might come from their own, like they want to specialize early, or it comes from their parents. And it's, the benefits that you get from playing multiple sports, just the physical skill, yes, but also having that break from a sport and having an off season from a sport. It, when the season starts up again, it's, you experience that new love for that sport, and you're like, wow, I missed this. And you have more enjoyment or more joy while you're playing that sport, rather than being burnt out.
I definitely agree with you 100% on that.
Mm-hmm. So that, and
Learning
that's,
how to miss it, and then as we said, going out and learning from new people, different coaches,
mm-hmm.
and just getting out there and having eyes and ears everywhere. Definitely, in my opinion, will go a little further.
Yeah, for sure. So when you were playing, your grade 12 year, before you went to university, how was it that you dealt with any sort of setbacks, whether that's in sport or say in the classroom? Like, how would you deal with your setbacks in the high school environment?
So 100%, there's a little bit of setback because growing up, I didn't really think about it. No one in my family had a scholarship. No one in my family went to university. No one in my family played in a professional sport before. So my vision wasn't really there. It was just sort of like get by. But
Mm-hmm.
then in high school, it was like, Jahmeek, you have a talent here. You can potentially go to university, get a scholarship, play in the professionals. But it's just like, oh, I've been doing applied classes all my life. So now I had to go to summer school, get the academic classes, go to night school, boost that grade to get into university. So that was definitely a little setback in high school, not knowing exactly what I wanted to do and when I wanted to do it.
And like when you were entering high school, because I went through something similar where, you know, where I am now compared to how I was in high school, it's completely night and day where, you know, I wasn't an academic kid in high school. Like I took academic classes, but I was getting 50s, 40s. I failed math multiple times and I took it almost 3 times in 1 year. And it's like I went through this like similar thing where I had to go to summer school every summer in order to get my grades up just to go to college. So when you were going into high school, um, were you told to, you know, you should take academic or you should take applied, or was that your choice?
That was my choice, not knowing that university was going to potentially be an option.
Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
gotcha. And then so, you know, you did the summer school, the night school, and then what was your next step?
The next step was getting a scholarship and applying for going on different recruiting trips. So now, you know, Jahmeek he's in the classroom, he's getting his grades up. Now you have an athlete that can potentially go to any school in the not any school. You know, I'm not getting into Queens or anything like that,
Yeah.
but you know, I still would have went on the recruiting trip.
Yeah.
And so now he's like, you know, so now coaches you're getting your letters, you're getting. I had some for basketball too, but like football was it. So now going on these recruiting trips, take advantage of the recruiting trips for all the young athletes out there. They're amazing. Go to everywhere. Go out west. Go out east. Just experience life, and then don't make your decision there. Then bring it home with you. Think about it. And I went to Halifax for my recruiting trip. It's supposed to be a 2-day recruiting trip. 2 flights missed. A week later, I was still out there, just like, man, I'm coming to this school.
Yeah.
And Halifax was an amazing place, one of the better programs in the CIS at the time. And I made my decision, and that was home for me. And it was one of the easier universities to get in there. I can definitely say that. But and it was, I think they wanted 5 university credits instead of the 6 university credits.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was like, okay, that's it. It was like, you know, and they had an amazing football program. So it was like that was an easy decision in my end after the recruiting trip.
So then going into your first year, you know, how was that from going from playing against, you know, high school aged athletes to now you're playing against, you know, a lot older guys, they're stronger, bigger, faster. Like how was that transition going into your first year?
So we played the Mississauga Warriors, the OVFL, the Ontario Varsity Football League. And that was a high caliber of football. It was a rep. So we played high school, but then we would play against all the high schools in Mississauga. And then now we have all these athletes come and play for the Mississauga Warriors. So we have the best athletes in Mississauga representing this team. And we're going out playing Ottawa. We're going out playing anyone in the Ontario. So that was a pretty high level of football that definitely prepped us to at that university level. And at that time, you could be 28 and apply for university and play on the football team. So I was 18 years old and the other rookie was 28. Now they've switched that. Now they've switched that you have 7 years to play 5 years of eligibility. So back then it was like, these are grown men we're playing now.
Yeah.
And luckily my speed, you know, I didn't take any big hits. And we worked our ass off in the gym to get ready for university. Like we were playing, we were training. So my body was ready for the competition and had a great rookie season. Rookie of the year, you know, we're nominated for the CIS Rookie of the Year as well. All-star receiver, all-star running back. I was ready for the rookie year.
And then so that like even just the skill level, like did you find that there was a big difference from you know the Warriors to, you know, playing at SMU? You know, did you find that there was a big jump or was it kind of easier for you?
The jump is at all the levels is the speed of the game is just a little bit faster. High school, like good. OVFL, you're like, all right, a little faster. Now CIS is a little faster. Now you're in training camp with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and it's that much more faster. This guy's D'ing me up with his hand behind his back, and I'm like, what just happened there? Like, what?
Yeah.
But it's a mental game there now. So it was always the speed of the game got faster. You can
Okay.
do it. You do it well, but now you got to do it well faster.
Yeah, I gotcha. And then, so, that was on the field. Like, how did you find the transition from high school, in the, the classroom to now you're at university? How was that jump as well?
The jump, I became a better student in college, and probably even a better student outside of college now. I think.
Hmm.
I had some good advice. Whatever you did was just not miss class. You're hungover. Just go to class. Just get to class. And I
Hmm.
took that seriously, and went to a lot of my classes. Got to know my profs, and did better in university than I did in high school. We had help. We had study halls, so everyone was together, and we got it done. Got the graduated double major criminology and sociology.
Oh,
So
nice.
that was good.
Congrats.
That was good to bring home to the family. That was awesome. Flying
Yeah.
my mom out to watch that.
Oh, that's awesome. And so, you kind of mentioned, like, you guys, usually student athletes, they get help with, the study hall and all that. But other than the study hall, like, what did you find that worked for you going into university? Like, did you, surround yourself with only guys on your team where, you guys are all going towards the same goal, where, you want to get your degree, but you also want to be dominant student athletes? And I think well, not I think, but with student athletes, student comes first before the athlete. Sometimes schools, they get it mixed up. Yeah. So
Yeah.
they get that,
What was it? School comes first. School comes first.
yeah,
Athletes come second.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
continue.
But that's usually how it is. And it's, a lot of athletes, you still have to focus on school, right? So, and I know many athletes that I work with, they struggle with the school component. Being a student athlete, it's fine because, they're dominating, say, on the ice or on the field. But when it comes time for the classroom, they struggle. Like, what helped you the most, or what stood out for you the most?
So I have two that I can say in my rookie year. In the classroom and then on the field. So in the classroom, I would say that helped the most was wanting to get it done. Was wanting it to get it done, and everybody was in the library. The library was kind of like the cool place to hang out. A lot of girls in the library, so that we gravitated towards the library.
Yeah.
And I would say the athletic portion of it was being a rookie, a starter in my rookie year. No other rookies in residence was starting.
Hmm.
So game nights, I had to take myself out of residence and go hang out with a couple of veteran players because they're prepping for the game and not partying it down in residence. And, it's hard to say no to a good time.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I had to take myself out of there and go to hang out with a couple of vets. So I was ready for the game tomorrow.
Hmm.
And in the classroom was just staying in the library, just not being at home doing nothing. I couldn't stay at home. So at least I was there. Probably didn't get a lot done, but I was there.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. And that, surround yourself with like-minded people. That's going to help you, go after whatever your goal is. And, you know, I know that being in residence and the temptation's always there. So for student athletes, it's good that, you learned that early on, especially being the only starter, to surround yourself with the older guys, right? So then, moving into, say, your senior year, were things still, you're still starting, like, things still going well, or did you start to transition? Um, you did your 4 years, and then were you still starting? I kind of just went in a circle there with my
That's
question.
all right. So freshman year, I would have had like a little sophomore slump. The sophomore
Yeah.
slump was like, you come in, a little bit of different team. You came in hot off your freshman year, and you just weren't there. But the 2020 year, my junior year was my best year. So I was nominated for the Heisman Trophy, the Hec Creighton Award. It's called the Hec Creighton Award. So, you know, I was great in my junior year, which is awesome, which is great. You know, going into my senior year, my draft year, this is the guy, you know, was coming up. And then my senior year, I got injured right before the combine.
Oh.
So right before the combine, so a couple last season of the game, I got injured, torn labrum, impinged bone, arthritis in that left hip. So it didn't finish my senior year, and had to get surgery before the combine, fix it up. We moved down to San Diego. We got some coaches. We're training, doing our thing, just trying to speed up this recovery process as fast as we could. And then I shouldn't have competed. But me, knowing me, I'm the guy. You know, I'm trained. I'm good to go. And you know, my 40 was a 4.8 at the combine, a 4.8 40 for a receiver. That just was not good. You know, my one-on-ones were good, but I just wasn't me. I didn't have that pop explosiveness that 4.4 in my rookie year. So that was a tough year. Good season, but got injured, and right in front of the combine, shouldn't have ran the 40. Should have sat it out and probably would have got drafted. So that combine ended up for me not to get drafted. And, you know, it's just like, it's a pretty tough time in life now. You're not getting drafted. You've lived up, you wanted this moment your entire life, to hear your name on TV with the family and then celebrating. And that not happening was devastating. And, you know, that was tough. My injury was like, oh man, so what's next? So what was next was the question. So you go back to for the fifth year and train my ass off. I got to get back to that Jahmeek Murray-Taylor who did that 4.4 speed. So we went back, had a great season, trained my ass off, went to the free agent combine at Western. Great combine, ran my Jahmeek speed, you know, that 4.4, and ended up getting drafted, or ended up getting signed with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and went to training camp with them. So, you know, my season was good, highs, lows. So it was a roller coaster of emotions at my university for sure.
And then, so, you know, dealing with the draft and not getting drafted, like, how did you, like, obviously it's frustrating, you know, you're disappointed, and, you know, you put in all the years of work, nonstop work. And, you know, it was kind of taken away from you because you were injured, right? And you didn't show your best self. Like, how did you deal with that? How did you deal with that small little speed bump in your journey?
So the time, that small little speed bump was everything. You know, it was everything. And I think it was wanting to prove myself that I can do this, I can ball with these guys, and to prove everyone around me that counted on me. Like, you know, this is their friend that's supposed to be in the league, you know, he's the guy. So it was like proving it to myself, but probably more for my friends and family to be like, you know, oh, what happened? You know, and be like, oh my God, like, I can't let them down. You know, it was probably a lot of them pushing me and for me to get where I need to be.
And then, so, you know, going into that, the free agent camp, like, what was your mindset? Like, what was your mentality going in? Like, did you just have your blinders on? Like, how was that?
We were eating. Target training. Shout out to the gym. Target training, still there today. We were just eating. He creates savages in that gym. You know, it's a good atmosphere. And, you know, I knew I was going to be stronger than everybody. I knew I was going to be faster than everybody. I went in like, I'm going to do very well in this combine. You know, there was no other option, because that was it. If that combine didn't go well, there was nothing. There was nothing else. So just did everything you could potentially do to be the best you can. And it was a great combine. Great. Every single rep was my rep.
And then, so you end up signing with the Ticats, and then, you know, what happened? What transpired with the Ticats?
It was awesome. You know, yes, I know I got this. It was great, you know, and went to Hamilton Tiger Cats camp. I thought I had a great camp. I was balling out. I was finally starting to get comfortable. I was like, yes, this is it. And, you know, I was happy preseason against Montreal. Oh my God. So as a punt returner, you know, you have the very high punts and then you have the nice spiral punts that come and that's just so easy to catch. And I was just like, this is it. You're in there now, you know, boom, punt, it's up. I was like, oh my God, the best punt. And then you just see the field and like in my brain, I'm like, touchdown. And that's the one thing, all you got to do is like, it happens so fast. It's like, see the ball, you scan the field fast. And it's like, oh, I see the lane, it's over. And I muffed it. So when you start seeing the lane, you run first before you catch the ball, like, you know, 90% of the time, that's when you drop the ball. Is you try to run before you catch.
Mm-hmm.
And I muffed it. You know, I picked it up and skittled out a little bit, like you showed. I like had a little run, but it was like, man, muffed the punt. But then, you know, after muffing a punt, it's like it's like getting a fumble. You know, it takes a lot. You know, next punt return, like, oh fuck, I just muffed the last one. Now I got to go back. Oh, that's right. Now I got to go back out there, and you know, shit, this is even scarier. So then, boom, you get a nice high one, caught it, did my thing, and had some great practices. Was good. I thought I was going to be on this team, and then you know, you get the call, and you know, sorry, you've been released, and it's just like, what the? No way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, man, I'm just starting to feel it out and vibe it out and like, you know, let's go.
Yeah.
And then being a Canadian return, like my position's American dominant. Like my position was like American dominant position. And no excuses, it was great. You know, I gave it my all, got there, and they didn't think I was good enough. So, you know, but I gave it my all. And it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. And then, so going from the Ticats, like, what was your next step? Did that happen? Your next step happen right away, or did you take some time to kind of, you know, digest it? Because it's a lot to digest, right?
Yeah. So after that, it was just like, what do I do now? This was everything. You know, what do I do now? What am I good at? What can I do? How can I make some money? And it was sad. You know, I was down on myself for a little bit. All my friends are at practice. You know, I'm like out of this new world. Like at this time, I'm usually playing football. I don't know what to do. All this extra time now. You're not going to meetings. You're not going to practices. And I bartended in Halifax at the Goresbrook there on the campus bar. So I had a little bit of bartender knowledge in my head. And moving to Toronto, pretty great nightlife here. Started working as a server and a bartender at Boston Pizza. It's a lot of fun bartending. You know, you make some money. You're there hanging out. Yeah. Then I was at Queen Street Warehouse Bar downtown, general manager. You know, and then took bartending seriously. You know, won best bartender in Ontario. You know, we had a competition. There's a voting, and you know, such anything I was doing, you try to be the best at it.
Yeah. And is that something you learned from sport?
Probably has something to do with it.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think, and how we took it to another level when we're at the bar throwing beers across the room. Like, you know, you got to be an athlete to one, throw it, and to catch it. We do a little thing where you throw a full beer, and just more excitement, just taking more risk. Yeah, I think, you know, we took more risk. Like we had fun, and then like we did stuff that other restaurants or bar wouldn't dare do, right?
Yeah.
And definitely pushing it to the limit.
Yeah. And then, so, you know, how long did you do that before you, you know, moved into fire? Like, was that a couple years? Was that?
So that was a good 5 years working in the bar in the hospitality industry, and that teaches you a lot about life as well. It's a great, go to there and you don't know where this person is coming in from the world. Are they having a good day, good, bad day, coming from Europe, you know, Southeast Asia? They could just be, and just talk to so many people. And it was a high turnover rate. But you learn a lot of people skills, you know, because you got to talk to these, you got to wooze these people to give you some more money at the end of the day, you know. You know, they like you more if they're gonna give you more money if they like you. So teach you how to talk to people, communicate with people. People are intoxicating, how to get this guy out of the bar now. And then it taught me that management role, being the GM there, you know, responsible for 230 people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had a pretty big staff. So I learned a lot in organizing and, you know, managing a team, managing a group, which football taught me a lot. You know,
Mm-hmm.
not like the sports taught me a lot, making sure that everybody's on the same page, making sure no one gets left behind, making sure that everyone's in this together. It's a family environment. You know, it's a good atmosphere to be. You want to be there. You want to succeed. You know, we're having these competitions, you know,
Yeah.
and wow, I didn't think about but that definitely, you know, I'm breaking it down before we hit the floor, you know. So
Yeah.
I definitely brought that football aspect to the hospitality industry.
Mm-hmm. And is that something you bring to Fire as well? Moving into Fire now?
Yes, yes. The sports and fire, it has a lot of similarities. You know, that hierarchy, you know, being a rookie to being a veteran, you know, being a junior man to being a senior man, and really knowing how to play your role, listen, sit back, learn, and, you know, learning from everybody, and you just pick up their little tricks here, little tricks there. You know, oh, he ran that route, kind of cool. Oh, let me try that. This morning, the way I went on the pole, we had to call it probably around 2 a.m. I went on the pole and I was like, holy shit, I just burnt the shit out of my hand. We wake up, you're not really like clothed to, and then I was like, holy shit, that like burnt. And then we got another call around 5 a.m. and then Gail, one of my coworkers, went down, but he did this different little hand over hand instead of a slide. And I was like, that is brilliant. That's what I did on the way down, you know, just
Yeah.
picking up little cues, little hints everywhere in there. And it's pretty cool how everything transitions and meshes well together.
Mm-hmm. And so, you know, coming up on your 2-year anniversary, like how has it been so far going, like being a part of Toronto Fire?
It is absolutely cool just to see the magnitude of it. Like the operation side of it is just like what happens when someone calls 911. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what happens with that first 911 call to get into to say if it's a fire in a high rise and the alarms go off, that automatically shuts the garbage chute, you know, starts ventilating, shuts the stairwell, starts venting from the stairwell. And then that sends from us at the fire hall, from whatever we're doing, dropping that on a dime, getting on the
Mm-hmm.
truck, responding. And, you know, it might be something where we're going to need the police officers, well, it's most of the time with something, you're going to have the police officers, you're going to have the paramedics, you're going to have Enbridge, you're going to have the engineers, you're going to have everybody working together. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, this is so cool. Like, you know, you have the big trucks and we have the resources to get it done, and to seeing the magnitude of everything, it's pretty cool seeing how I don't even know what's going on. Like, I'm like, you know, I'm like, what is my PC doing in there? It's just, you know, what is he doing in there? And I won't know until I, you know, learn to fucking mop the floor first, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, the magnitude of everything in there, it's really cool to see.
Mm-hmm. And so are you just doing Fire right now? I know you're doing some all day fit.
Fire, and yes, all day fit is we so all day fit is our personal training business. Started with my beautiful fiance, founder of it, and it takes a 360 approach to health and wellness, focusing on strength training in general, mindset, education, nutrition, and rest and recovery, and how sleep and getting that 8 hours of sleep is detrimental to life.
Yeah.
And we created a beautiful community. It's lots of fun teaching people how to bring out their best selves. And so Cassie's been in a lot of the online hub training.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just waiting for Doug Ford to let us back out there and start personal training and really starting to get more involved in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I that's supposed to be starting up somewhat soon, right? With the outdoor stuff.
Exactly. I think
Yeah.
July 2nd, we're going to launch the program. So all
Yeah.
day athlete coming at you, baby.
There we go. That's it. And so what is that, for the listeners, like, what does that look like? Is it like just strictly online? Is this kind of, in the parks? Like, what does it look like? Just give them kind of an idea.
So we have different branches coming off all day fit. And so all day fit is where we do most of the strength training in gym. Online hub, we have virtual personal training. We have and then once we are allowed to go back in the gym, we'll be back in the gym, but also keeping a couple of those services. And
Nice.
I created a program 2 years ago now called All Day Athlete, which is where I've used all of my knowledge that I've gained past this 20 years of track and field, football, basketball, and me learning from those great coaches, just giving it to our everyday person who doesn't think they're athletes for some reason. And that bothers me a little bit, that people don't think they're an athlete. It's like, why aren't you an athlete? Like, I can't
Hmm.
do that. Well, did you ever try to do that? Oh,
Yeah.
I can do that, and so we teach them body awareness, mobility, proper sprinting mechanics, quick direction, teaching people how to stop, and teaching how people jump and how to land, and just having fun with it. Most of them having fun with it. Like, these drills are fun. Like, it's fun going through some
Mhm.
pylons and running in circles. Like, it's bringing up that inner kid as well.
Yeah, and that's a big thing where, with any sort of exercise program, when, when you don't have any enjoyment doing it and you don't look forward to it, you're never going to be consistent. And if you want to see any sort of results, and, you can attest to this, where you need to be consistent. You need to come back day in, day out. And, if you only have 10 minutes, okay, well, be consistent with those 10 minutes, not, well, I got 10 minutes now, and then in 3 months, I'll give 15. It's like, you won't see any results like that.
And you got to start these when our clients come in, people want to start training and want that drastic change. And we recommend little goal setting. Like, you have never walked before, don't set a goal saying I want to get up and walk an hour every day. Say, I'm going to get up and walk 2 minutes. We want you to go out for 2 minutes. That's it.
Yeah.
I want it to be so easy. The client's like, 2 minutes. Oh, that's it. No, I got that. And then
Yeah.
now they're like, fuck, I gotta go for that 2 minute walk. And it's just like, something I can do that, I can
Yeah.
achieve that, and then build from there.
Yeah,
Start
exactly.
small. Start
Yeah.
small.
Those small little gains that, it's going to bring you towards that, whatever your end goal is, whether it's just better health or to, lose some weight, whatever that goal is, you need to start small, those small steps. So before we kind of, we're going to segue into kind of the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
This is something kind of new that we're doing. And by we, I mean me. Uh, so, we're going to ask you if 4 rapid questions, whatever comes to mind, you kind of just, rapid fire it. All right. So, what is one rule you live by?
What is one rule that I live by? So that would have to be the golden rule. Do unto others as you would like done unto you. However, that has switched. Not everybody wants what I want. So now my new golden rule is do unto others as they would like done unto them. We
Nice.
can do that. I think we'll have a beautiful world, and it'll be a lot, in my opinion, a happy place.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I'm in agreement with that. So number 2, what is something that you're working on this year?
What is something that I'm working on this year is to become that first class firefighter. I'm a third class firefighter right now. So next year in a little bit, I get my white tag, and just making sure, just soaking up all the knowledge I can potentially get, and just becoming the best firefighter I can.
Right on. I like that. What is the best compliment you've ever received?
The best compliment that I've ever received, and that I like to receive, is that I'm a very easygoing person. Like, I'm not a big planner. I'm spontaneous,
Yeah.
and I try to involve everyone in the never, one go, we all go.
Yeah.
So probably Jahmeek's easygoing, I guess you
Easy
could
going.
say. Yeah.
There we go. Last one. What is your go-to cheat meal or junk food?
My go-to cheat meal and good and junk food. First, we don't like the word cheat meal, or we don't like saying that. We don't like putting emotions and attaching them to food.
I
You
like
know,
that.
we would, if we want how you're eating a lifestyle, this is how I eat. This is what I do in 90, 70% of the time. And if I want that junk food or I want the cookie, have the cookie. Don't
Hmm.
don't feel guilty about having the cookies like you're cheating. Like, it just makes you seem like you're doing something wrong, right? You want
Hmm.
to live a nice balanced life. If you want the cookie, have a cookie and enjoy yourself. And if I were, oof, man, I'm addicted to sugar.
Oh man.
I'm a
What
big
is it?
cereal guy. I like cereal. I'm a big cereal guy. Top three: Frosted Flakes, Captain Crunch, and the number three goes in and out. Big ice cream guy.
Nice. I like
What about,
that.
yeah.
And
What about
some
you?
for my cheat meal or junk food, I would say any sort of sugar, like sour foods, sour treats, like Sour Patch Kids, Cherry Blasters. I turn into a little kid with those, and it's
Oh,
just keep them away from me. It's probably
definitely,
better off, and it's
definitely. I feel
better
you
for my
there.
stomach too.
Oh, fire alarm.
Yeah.
You know, and like, what happens? This happens. Or that guy's coming. So it's so cool how it just, what are you walking into? No one knows.
Yeah.
Oh, you
That's
come in
actually,
updated.
yeah, for sure. And that, perfect timing because we're gonna conclude. And Jahmeek, I just wanted to say thanks for your time and your story and being vulnerable to express what you've learned and the insights and knowledge that you have. It goes far beyond just sport. It's everyday life and what you're going after. It's admirable. So I just want to say thank you for everything you're doing. And if anybody wants to follow you or All Day Fit, where can they find you?
At Jaja Banks at alldayfit.co.
There we
Thank you
go.
very much for having me.
No
Keep doing
problem.
you. It's awesome. Educating these little young bucks out there. Any way I can definitely try to get my story out there. If someone wants to listen.
Thank you. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you.